Hello, my friends call me Sam, and I hope you will too. And as you can see, today we're going to be making little benches out of garbage that I had, some little popsicle sticks, and some straws. As you can see, I chopped them up to the sizes, but since they were all wonky, I sanded them, which was a mess. I was watching The Last of Us while this was happening because yeah, but it was a mess. Sanding down the sticks too because there were edges poking out. But the sawdust or whatever it's called made a mess afterwards, so probably shouldn't have done that. No, just on the floor. But yeah, as you can expect, lucky the sound was very unpleasant. um, but yeah, it made a mess. So I was using that little black cream plastic thing, garbage as well. Just making stuff out of garbage. So, sanding down all the sticks, I wanted to leave the legs longer because if I plan to stick them like into little pots of plants. So it's like if I'm gonna stick them in, part of the leg won't be seen, and if I make the legs accurate, then I won't be able to like stab it into the dirt. So if you're gonna do that, I recommend you leave them a little bit longer if you actually want them to stick to the ground, or else, yeah, they're just gonna fall. Oh, my camera kept falling. It was not a good time, as you can see. It was a struggle. Yeah. Now get the hot glue gun, which I forgot where to connect. It fell again, but so get your hot glue gun warmed up, nice and hot. Be very careful with this. Get the hot glue stick, which I have been using hot glue since I was like in elementary school. So I'm a pro, but don't burn your house down, please. Don't melt your fingers. Don't burn your fingers. But yeah, now you just have to wait until it heats up so it can melt. Don't do that if it's hot. I'm only doing that to see if it's hot, which is clearly not. So you wait until it is. Now, once eventually you have your hot glue gun hot, um, I'm gonna be gluing the bench together, which is just gonna be the two sanded popsicle sticks in the little like corner form. I don't know, like you know what a bench looks like. Oh my goodness, you know what we're doing. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah. This was the part where I was watching The Last of Us. It was getting intense, and turns out like it's not that close to the show. I was watching the show first, season one, and then I finished season one, and then I was like, let me watch the video game. And I never watched season two, but I watched the video game season two, and I think I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna watch season two of the show. Oh yeah, but I think I stuck it back together, the bench, because it was very ugly, and there were popsicle sticks varying sizes, so that there could be some bigger ones, some smaller ones. But once I stuck them down, I reinforced them from behind, so they wouldn't just break. And yeah, I that's one thing I hate about hot glue. The strings, I hate the hot glue strings. So I'm always like very careful to take them off, which can be a pain, but yeah, you get it done. And sometimes there's a little bit of hot glue on the back, but we can fix that later, I think. Here we go. Next one. But yeah, I was saying about The Last of Us. Season one was okay. It really wasn't super big. And honestly, my favorite is The Last of Us 2, Part 2. But like the video game, not the show. I've seen parts of the show and I said, no, I'm not gonna watch that. So yeah. So yeah. I mean, the first game was like cool, but it was kind of boring. Like compared to the second one, it was really dynamic, really, really fun. changing perspective and stuff. But if you catch me wide-eyed or taking a glimpse, it's because it was getting good. It was confusing. Well, not confusing, but there were some different things. Anyways, the bench. Yeah, there we go. Last one. Remove the strings, which I hate. And what I used to do is like just run the hot glue, like the nozzle, just the hot metal part. Run it over your bumpy hot glue so that it can like melt it down, so it can be flattened. Now a tiny one, I don't know why I made one so tiny. It was kind of, miserable. You can't even really tell. It's a bench. It's so small, it looks just kind of weird. And in the end, it did look kind of weird, but it's cute. It's small. Whatever. Pour it on, and then just like I'm doing, you see, you run the metal part over the bumpy hot glue, so it just like melts it down, flattens it down. Because it can be really annoying where it's just like this piping lumps of stuff, the hot glue, and yay! The hot glue strings were everywhere, by the way, and I hate, like I said, I don't like them. Oh, I'm going over this one. Oh, now we're going to be gluing down the legs, I believe. So for this, you just leave a drop there. And what I'm doing is I put the stick into the drop, but in order to secure it, I twirl it until it dries. Ugh, the hell is it? You twirl it until it dries. That way, it can be more secure, because in the twirl, like the hot glue wraps around it kind of, and when it cools down, it's a lot more secure, and it won't break. So, oops, accidentally burned myself, but don't worry. So yeah, I do it with the other side too. And like I said, leave the legs a little bit long. Well, that's what I did, just to make sure that there was room for it to go underground. Twirl, twirl. Okay, with the legs. Yeah, I don't know why I did this. I mean, my mom loves gardening too, and I do too. And she usually like shows me some Pinterest or AI pictures of like these fairy gardens, and oh my goodness, I love fairy gardens. But she's like, oh, make tiny stuff. Oop, bench one, yay, not bad. Bench two, as you can see, I already got those first two legs on. Twirl the hot glue. You can even blow on it as you twirl so it can dry faster, but like, it was fine. Hot glue usually dries really fast anyways, which is one of the things I like about hot glue, which I love hot glue, I just don't like the strings. And there. Try to make sure they're all even. Although I don't know if they are, but whatever. Yay! Okay, another one. Hooray! And now, I'm pretty tired, but the tiny bench. The tiny bench. And this one I was debating because it's so tiny. Like in order to get all four legs, it would be tricky. Oh right, for the legs, as you can see in the corner, I used these like straws. They were like wheat straws. I don't know. Um, but basically, it was just laying there in my room, so I'm like, yeah, let's use it. Oops, that's a lot of hot glue. But I ended up deciding that for the tiny bench, I would just use two legs. Because, like I said, putting four legs on it would be a pain, and kind of unnecessary because it's so small. Oh my goodness. Not even Thumbelina can fit on that, and she is the size of a thumb. Anyways, twirl the little legs on. Oops, it went it went wonky. But that's why you have to kind of like twirl it. As you can see, like it kind of curls up on the straw. And there, ta-da! You secure it. Twirl until it's kind of dry. The legs look really long, but don't worry because half of them are going. The hot glue strings, which, you know, I said it too many times already. Whatever. Oh, yeah, that was sad. That was sad. There was sawdust on it everywhere. A mess. My little not braid. You don't get. Whoop. Here is me whipping you with the avatar braid. Because I don't know why I have that random yarn braid. I think it was for somebody's costume. And here we are. Yay! Tiny benches. Hope you like it. Like, subscribe, whatever.